How's it going, everyone? Larry here at the Farmstead Way, and today we're going to talk about city life versus country life. I grew up in a residential suburban neighborhood. Houses stacked upon houses, and everything you could want was mostly a bicycle ride away. We bicycled down to our friend's house. We played Game Boys on people's porches. Good old Pokemon Emerald Green and Fire Red and Sapphire Blue. Played Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Watched Saturday morning cartoons like Jackie Chan Adventures and Mucha Lucha and Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon. All that fun stuff. Went to public school and play a lot of video games because that's about all you can do in a neighborhood like that. And then when I got married, I moved out here into rural southern Ohio. And I gotta say, boy, I wish I would have grew up out here because I would have had a blast. I had a very interesting transition from city life to country life because I remember there's pictures of me from like, I'll have to find some. They're hysterical. I'll have to put them in here. There's pictures of me from when I first was dating my wife, and I'm wearing tennis shoes and gym shorts and like workout company t-shirts. And then you look at me now, and I mean, for God's sakes, I wear pretty much boots all the time, my cowboy hat and jeans. I haven't worn shorts in years. And I got all countrified. So what's the pros and the cons? One of the things that I loved about the city was a combination of the people and the places that are there. It was especially in like big cities, like if you went to Cincinnati or Columbus or Dayton. If you Xbox 360 people remember a game called Mirror's Edge. It was like one of the flagship games that came out with the 360. And it's just, you have the urban city and the music that was going and the hustle and bustle and the cars and stuff. And it's just, I like, even when I drive through the city now, I always play the Still Alive theme from Mirror's Edge because it just gives me chills looking at all the big buildings and stuff. And it's so cool. And then seeing all the people, and I grew up even in like urban small town. And it was cool being able to jump on your bicycle and ride down to UDF or ride down to the Chinese restaurant or bicycle yourself to the library or heck, bicycle to church. And everything was so close and we had a lot better stores. And then you realize that that's literally all there is to do. Consume and piddle around. I went back to my hometown 2 weeks ago to get my income taxes done. I have my income taxes done in one town over from the town I grew up in, so I drive 2 hours to get that done. And I had to drive to the city. And once I got my taxes done, I went back home and visited my mom, and we on the way home, I just puttered around the neighborhood a little bit, stopping at, didn't stop at people's houses, but I drove past people's houses that I knew and stuff. And I was just like, wow, it seems like this place is where people come to sleep before they go back to work. It's stagnant and dead. It seems like there's no life. Yes, there's community, but you got a whole row of houses and no one knows each other. They don't talk to each other. Everyone's on their own schedules and stuff, and you might get the occasional wave. That's about it. It just seems dead. And then you come out here and we've got a neighbor that's like 500, 300, 400 yards that way, and you got a neighbor that's a mile that way. And I talk to them more than half the people ever did growing up. There's more community out here. There's something about the land that allows you to expand and to grow. It's just like nothing but untapped potential. And when you go to the city, everything's marked out, laid out. You got rules. You can't do certain things. Out here, the sky is the limit. As long as it's not dangerous or obnoxiously illegal, you can pretty much do it out here. You can start gardens. You can build barns. You can raise animals. You can let your kids go barefoot and run for 400 yards in the bottom field. There's so much more community. I mean, the struggles make it fun too. I mean, out here, the infrastructure is garbage. The wind blows hard and we lose power. We have a well, we have a septic tank, we have a garbage pickup that comes once a week, but we have to take our trash, quarter mile up the hill to the dumpster. There's nowhere good to eat around, but you get to the point where you just eat at home anymore and you have good home cooked meals and everyone gets to sit around the table at the end of the day. But boy, gosh, I miss being able to just get on my bicycle and just go to the Chinese restaurant, or being able to drive 20 minutes and go to a movie instead of driving an hour and a half to get a good movie theater. Because in the town that I live in, there's like nothing. There's nothing but fast food joints and farm stores and Lowe's and Walmart. And I grew to appreciate country life more when I started working with Mennonites. Now out here, there's a lot of horse and buggy Mennonites. And there's one Mennonite in particular that I work with, and he is such a kindred spirit. And he is definitely a country soul. He would give you the shirt off his back. He would work all night long for free to help a person out. Rarely gets angry, very patient. And that's just how country people are, since it's a lot slower way of living. And there's not as many people that are sucked into the rat race, at least on our road. Almost everyone on our road is self-employed. So there is no, running to clock in so you don't get in trouble. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with shift jobs, but it's a different mindset. People out here work to live. They don't live to work. People out here school shuts down for the first week, or you get in school, they go a week and then they shut it down for a week for 4-H, for the fair. That didn't happen in the city. Nothing slows the machine down in the city. Like Dwayne Knowles on his channel, this out here, it's if we don't get to it today, we'll get to it tomorrow mindset. There's always another day out here in the country. And sometimes it seems like in the city that life is like having yourself tethered to a car that's going 2 miles an hour. Doesn't seem that fast, but you can't stop it. You're slowly just getting dragged and dragged and dragged. And it seems like you don't ever have 5 seconds to appreciate the view, to look out the window and to smell the air coming off the field, to smell the stinky manure that just got put on the farm fields, to hear the chickens screaming outside, hear the dogs barking in the bottom field, to hear the birds chirping in the trees, to hear the frogs peeping down in the creeks. To look up into the night sky and see the arm of the Milky Way galaxy, and to see countless stars and constellations, because there's no light pollution out here. At least it's not as bad as it is in the city. In the city, you got trains, planes, and automobiles. And we used to live really close to a train, so you would hear and then go blasting through town. And then cars driving past and headlights shining into your room at night. I mean, that wind is crazy today. Now, I know everyone can't afford to move out in the country, but also don't just play it off as it's impossible to get out here. Where there's a will, there's a way. And if you really wanted to, you can make it happen. You might not start off with much, but if you build and build and build, you'd be amazed what you can accomplish. I mean, like this building that I'm sitting in right now, the gym, we built this. I tore down a building that was getting ready to get demolished, and we bought a little bit of lumber and we rebuilt the thing out here. Pretty cool. You just have to try. And there's sacrifices and trade-offs to each one of them. And you realize that all your sacrifices from the city, they're not that meaningful. We have crappy internet out here. You can't hardly live stream. You can't hardly stream anything without it being pixelated. You can't hardly download anything. You can't even get text out certain times without being in the right spot, staying on one foot with your phone hanging out the window. There's no DoorDash. There's no delivery pizza. There's no Uber, which Uber is crazy. I did that once when I was in downtown Cincinnati, and it's just weird. Some dude pulls up, says, you know, are you so-and-so? And you just jump in their car and they take you across the city. Oh, thank you. Kind of crazy, even though it's not really a new concept, but what did I know? I'm just some podunk hillbilly. But you don't get the views like you do out in the country and the city. The people are different. The environment's different. And you'd be apprised, there's a word for you. You'd be surprised how well you can adapt. I didn't, you know, I used to think that living out in the country would be horribly, miserably boring. There's nothing to do. You find plenty to do. And sometimes I miss it. Most days I don't. I love it out here. So if you're thinking about moving to the country, there's some things to think about. It's so beautiful. It's so well worth it. And it's so nice in this crazy day and age where everyone is just go, 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 go. To be able to slow down. And you play games like Red Dead Redemption 2, or you watch shows like, even though it's far-fetched-ish, Yellowstone in 1883 and 1923, and you see how people used to live. Well, you can have your own little piece of that. It's not going to be cookie cutter from what you see on TV, but you can create your own adventure, your own life. Especially when you live on a homestead. Because there's always something to do and always something going on. Do I miss the city sometimes? Absolutely. There's just something about them tall buildings and those lights that are beautiful. Would I ever move back to the city? Hell no. I am gonna stay out here until I die. This is always where I was meant to be, and I'm always gonna carry a part of that city slicker part of me, you know, that boy, because like I wasn't raised deer hunting. I don't know how to hunt, really. I don't know how to fish. I'm gonna try to fix that this year. I wasn't blasting through the woods in ATVs, running from the game warden. I wasn't raised doing all that stuff. And I'm excited to be able to raise my kids in an environment where they can roam through the wilderness, the fields, without having to worry about running into the road or kicking their ball out into the street. You know, kids talk about playing until the street lights come on and they had to come home. Out here, you play till you can't see no more, and then you go get flashlights and you keep playing until mom and dad makes you come in. So if you've been thinking about leaving the city, I'd highly recommend doing it. You will not be disappointed. And like I said, I know crap's expensive, the economy's bizarre, but there's a way to do it. I have somehow managed to make a life for myself out here. I had help, but definitely wasn't handed me on a silver platter. I had to work for a lot of this. and I'd never go back. All right. This is Larry with the Farmstead Way. I just want to thank you all for hanging around. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ask questions. Love talking with you guys, and you all take it easy.